Hello everyone, welcome back on your YouTube channel of Lalbagh Girls Inter College. Here I have taken the next topic, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In the previous lecture, we have learnt about the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So this is the next topic which comes under the nutrition. So we will see the heterotrophic mode of nutrition in unicellular as well as in multicellular organism. So for the multicellular organism, we have taken the nutrition in human being. So for your better understanding, I have drawn the picture. So for the nutrition, we have a long alimentary canal, and this alimentary canal contains lots of parts like mouth, buccal cavity, the oral part. When we open our mouth, the cavity is called the buccal cavity. So the mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, then anus. So first of all, we take food. So after taking the food comes inside the mouth, and inside the mouth we have a tongue, we have our teeth for crushing the food. When we crush the food with the help of our teeth and with the help of tongue, here in the mouth, lots of salivary glands are also found. These salivary glands secrete the saliva. This saliva contains a digestive enzyme which is called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase functions on the fatty substances, so complex molecules of complex molecules of starch convert in the sugar in the presence of this salivary amylase. Then food moves from this mouth to the stomach through this food pipe. This food pipe is called esophagus. This esophagus tube or esophagus, this food pipe has a long tubular structure, and this inner lining is lined up by the mucus, and it also contains a muscular wall. These muscular wall have the capacity to contract and relax. So here the process of contraction and relaxation occurs. This movement of rhythmically contraction of relaxation is called peristaltic movement. Through this peristaltic movement, food goes from the mouth to the stomach. When food comes inside this stomach is a large structure, large bag-like structure. Its inner lining is covered with the mucus, and this inner lining also contains a small pits. These small pits are called gastric pits. From these gastric pits, lots of enzymes, digestive enzymes are secreted. These enzymes are HCl, pepsin, and mucus. Due to the secretion of this HCl, the medium becomes acidic in this stomach. So, for the functioning of or the better action of pepsin, it is necessary that medium should be acidic. So, HCl also helps in the action of pepsin, and mucus helps in the lubricating the wall of the inner lining of the stomach. So from the stomach, food goes into the small intestine. This small intestine is actually the longest part of the alimentary canal. So in this small intestine, so many juices comes, like from the liver, this is pancreas. So from these juices, from the gastric enzymes or gastric juices, comes from this structure to this structure. That means we can say that from the liver, what kind of juice are we expect is bile juice, because it contains a gallbladder also. So from this liver, bile juice comes in the small intestine. From the pancreas, pancreatic juice comes inside this small intestine, and small intestine also itself secrete a intestinal juice from its wall. So one by one we will see the functioning of these juices. So from this section, from the pancreatic juice, from the pancreas, pancreatic juice comes, and this pancreatic juice contains two type of enzymes like your trypsin and the lipase. And this bile juice, from the liver, bile juices comes inside this small intestine. This bile juice contains a bile salt. What the exact function of bile salt? Bile salt emulsify the fat. That means it works on the complex molecules of fat and in the presence of bile salt, it converts into a simpler form of the fat. So this process is called emulsification. So after this process, so one more thing, that in this section, the complete food digestion has completed in this section. So we can see that the lots of food digestion is completed in the small intestine. So after the functioning of pancreatic juice, bile juice, we have an intestinal juice which is secreted from these inner lining of the intestinal wall. So these intestinal juices, what they perform the function? They convert protein into amino acids, carbohydrates into glucose, fat into fatty acids and glycerol. And last is the function is absorption. This is the main function after the digestion of food. So here in the inner lining of the small intestine, so many finger-like projections are found. These finger-like projections are called villi. Villi are for the absorption of the food. So what these villi do is they absorb the digested food. So this increases the surface area for the absorption of food. If we ask the function of villi, so we can say that villi actually what they do, they increases the surface area for the absorption of food. So when we talk about the digestion, so we have seen that this section completes this portion has complete the food digestion. Now what is the next function of this large intestine? What large intestine is do? The undigested food parts come in this large intestine. Here water absorption and minerals occurs. So in this portion, in the large intestine, absorption of water, absorption of mineral occurs. So and rest of the part, which is undigested part, comes in this portion, rest in this rectum portion, and after this last portion is called anus. Through this anus, fecal matter comes out. So here we can see that the complete nutrition in human beings. So I thought you have better understand from this flow chart. So thank you so much for watching this video. We will continue in the next lecture, the unicellular mode of nutrition. Thank you for watching this video. Be with us.